nail it, I know I can. Why are you laughing? I love this.
Bro, you just pumped me up.
It's my favorite part. It
You
really
just got me
is.
so pumped up.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Bro Show. I'm Greg T. That is Jamie. This is episode 7, and you guys are in store for another incredible episode. So what's up, bro?
Yo, we got my boy Rob Kash from Greater Restaurants.
Okay.
Nona's.
Yes.
Metro Cafe, American Hotel, Rosie's Tray.
I didn't know that he owned so many. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's my boy. He honestly, man, if it wasn't for him, Clean Bro wouldn't be here. And then there's Joe Leone, who's a New Jersey legend, in my opinion, these are just guys. They don't make them like this anymore. You know, old school, passion, just incredible people, man, that I have the utmost respect for. And like I said, this episode is for me.
Nice.
I got to hang out. And one of the things about the podcast was, like, you get to a point where, like, you only start to see people you love at funerals or stuff like that, right? And, like, I thought it'd be cool, like, if I just started having my friends on the show. So at least I know every couple weeks I get to see somebody, or I get to go out, and it's not like just random times I get to see people. So I get to schedule time with my friends and sit down and talk with them, right? I'm so excited to sit down and talk to Joe about linguine and clams, his crab sauce, meatballs, bounce it off of Rob. You know, we all love food. We all love New Jersey. So we'll see where this one goes. I think it'll be a great episode. Good. And you got a little dinner plan for yourself this weekend, yeah?
So listen, I leaned on you earlier in the week, and I'm thinking, like, who's going to know a good place for me to go? So I have another couple I have to take out for dinner. So it's me and my wife and two other people. So I figured I'd give you a ring, and you gave me some great suggestions. None of them came through because it was too late in the game already. Some of the ones that you said are so great, but they're already, like, I couldn't get in. Madison couldn't get in. Gabrielle's couldn't get in. It was just, I was
Well, sometimes Frank will get you in, but it'll be like 9 o'clock.
Do you know, that's exactly what happened. Yep, exactly what happened is that he was doing whatever he could, and God bless Frank, for real. He called me back and he goes, I'm trying to do everything I can, moving some tables around. But it wasn't until like 8:45, and the other couple wasn't going to do it.
I love Frank, and without incriminating myself too bad. Same thing with, like, Kimmy at Jasper Stone, right?
Yeah. Oh, Jasper Stone. Yeah.
Kimmy will be like, yo, Jamie, come by. I'm like, yo, Kim, every time I fucking hit you up, fucking reservations at like 9 p.m. I'm like, dude, I can't do it. Right. And as far as Gabriella's goes, I've been to Gabriella so many times, and I never get to eat because by the time it's 9 o'clock, I'm on an empty stomach. I had too much to drink. I'm in the back barfing. No, I'm just it's a good ode to them because their restaurants are so popular that you need such advancement just to try to get in and get a reservation. So when I was hitting you up, it was just for an idea, and there was just nothing they could do. That's why I have my reservation at Angelica's every Thursday, 6:30, bang, 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 bang.
Right. You know, that's a good question. What is the sweet spot, do you think, for dinner? Because that's what I was asking the other guy that I'm going out to dinner with. I asked him, what do you think is your sweet spot? And he was saying, but I want to hear about you.
For me, my wife, like
what's
my
a good
boy
time?
Troy, like basically the people that we like to go out with, man, we all like early dinner. So when you said you were going to Sinners, I was laughing because, you know, Jenny, JWoww, Zach, they love Sinners and they love early dinners. Sinners and early dinners.
So we got 7:30 reservations.
7:30 is fine. That's about as late as I'll go. That's about as late as I can go. I like to do 6 because then you could take your time, hang out.
That's true.
Anything like past 7:30, like you know, I love the Butcher Block. I love going there too.
Now, but wait, the Butcher Block though, that could really be like a late night spot. That's such a happening place.
Yo, you have no idea how many times I'm like, yo, Tom, I'm like, dude, I can't drive. He's like, we'll have valet take you home. Yeah. So I like throw the kid $100. He drive, bro. You have no idea how many times the valet drove me home. And
because that could really become a late night spot.
Yeah. So with the Sinner Steakhouse, like for me, man, I'm a big, like, I love seafood. I love like basically I love the Angelica's menu because I feel like, you know, we all have like a little bites. We share pasta, seafood, fish. Like,
yep. So what do I expect? I'm going to Sinners Saturday. So what do I expect?
Honestly, man, I haven't been to Sinners yet. I think it's like a cool vibe.
It looks like a completely cool vibe. That's why I really want to go.
Yeah, everybody who goes there, they really like it. I think Todd, my chef Todd, I think he really liked it. Mm-hmm. Todd's a tough critic too, man. Like he's like me, you know. Like when we give a review of a place, it's like we're multifaceted, and like if we like it, you know, it's
So what are your go-to restaurants? Like, where do you go in Jersey?
So I gotta tell you, I love to go to Angelica's.
Yeah,
I love Angelica's. Obviously, I love Tommy. I love the family. I love Butcher Block.
Butcher Block, right?
I love Frank.
Yep.
Gabriella's, but mostly, dude, my biggest frequent flyer, I gotta say, is probably Cousins.
Really?
I love Stephen Angelo over at Osteria.
Okay.
Dude, like Cousins, man, like.
You know, it's great. Great food.
Bro, you could dress it down. You could dress it up.
Yep.
You could be fancy. You could be like.
Well, it depends if you can go Sunday morning or Sunday for brunch. you could do there, you know?
Yeah, I would say probably the register I ring the most would probably be Cousins.
Wow.
Well, it's my neighborhood bar pretty much. I'm right down the road. I'm right down 79.
Yep.
I fucking love king crab legs. I love seafood, man. I love seafood. And as we get into this episode, you know, Rob has a bunch of restaurants, Joe, and these guys have been in business for like 30 years. So I'm really excited to get the episode going and just share like people I look up to in the industry. And also I think these guys, along with Nicholas, I wanted him on the show too with this episode, but I couldn't fit.
Now, who's Nicholas? I don't know Nicholas.
Well, he's got like Barrel and Roost right now, but he
my
had for
God,
the longest
yes.
time he had Nicholas, right? He had the restaurant Nicholas.
Oh
so
my God, yes.
he leveled up this area like crazy. All three of these guys leveled
Right.
up this area like crazy. So I was just super excited to have this episode on.
Well, listen, I'd love to get into it. I can't wait to meet your friends and find out a little bit more insight on how you got your start and how they helped get your start.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. And Joe Leone, and these guys are very humble people, but believe me when I tell you, you know I know food. You know I know the food business.
Yep.
These guys are the real fucking deal.
All right, and listen, and when we get back next week, I will let you know how Sinners was.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, bro. This is The Bro Show. We'll be right back with our guests. We're going to get things cranked up. I'm Greg T. That's Jamie, and this is episode 7. Eat Clean Bro. They deliver fresh, healthy, chef-prepared meals right to your door. So whether you're into bodybuilding or weight loss or just trying to eat better without the hassle of cooking, Eat Clean Bro has got a ton of options for you. Gluten-free options, high-protein options, chicken parm with sweet potato mash, buffalo chicken, mac and cheese, turkey meatballs and pasta, teriyaki salmon with jasmine rice, and Eat Clean Bro delivers within 24 hours in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania area. So if you're looking to try it out or you want help picking some meals that match your goals, head over to eatcleanbro.com right now. Eat Clean Bro. That's where to go.
Where to go.
So we're here with my mentor, my savior, one of my best friends, Rob Kash, Greater Restaurants. If you've been to Nona's, if you've been to Metro Cafe and Freehold, the American Hotel, if you've been to Rosie's and Trey, you have a location in Brick, you have Trey and Freehold, you have Rosie's in Marlboro, Route 9. Also, a man I look up to, mad respect for, what I would say about Rob and Joe Leone here, who have leveled up Monmouth County and Ocean County. Big respect for like the food pioneers here. More than 20 years, I'd say, right, Joe? 20 years?
28 going on.
28 years.
Yeah.
So
I'm 32.
32 years. So for people that love food, for people that love Monmouth County, who love Ocean County, Rob Kash was the first Italian restaurant on Route 9. So this is a little fucking New Jersey history, because now there are more Italian restaurants on Route 9 than in all of Italy.
Yeah, we can't figure that out. We don't know what's happening now. All of a sudden, Monmouth County is exploding with Italian restaurants.
Yeah, and as far as Point Pleasant, because for some reason Point Pleasant always makes it on this podcast.
Yeah.
Joe Leone is the epicenter of culinary talent in that town, and
Nice.
he has raised the bar in the entire county. So you're talking about going to Sinner's Steakhouse. You're talking, you know, all the places. I've known Joe now for I've known Joe for a long time. When Rob fired me, I went and I worked at a restaurant called 709.
709. That's right. You were a bartender.
It's
there.
okay. Rob regrets letting me go. I know. I was your most valuable employee ever in the history of your
All
restaurant.
right, take it easy. You came back and
No.
you did all right, man. I'm pretty sure you cooked your first Eat Clean Bro meal at my place.
No. No. It was a joke. It was a joke. I know that it wasn't really you. It wasn't you at all. And it was fucking Sky Grape, man. It looked like I was giving drinks away. I wasn't. It wasn't a light decision, but
wasn't it at a time though that when you started Eat Clean Bro that you were actually working right there at Nona's, right?
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
Because of this guy and because of Joe, and he was protecting me, there were people who were trying to steal my company left and right. And
Yep.
Rob was like, "Fuck you. That's his business. Leave him alone." And there was all types of people trying to take bites out of me, and he kept me safe. And if it wasn't for Rob, if it wasn't for Joe, Eat Clean Bro wouldn't be here. See, the thing is, man, there's money, but there's some things money can't buy. So what Rob and Joe did for me was they allowed me to have a kitchen and staff. And in the restaurant business where most people fail is they run out of time because they hired the wrong people.
Right.
And when you're in business, hiring is the hardest part. They say 9 out of 10 businesses fail. And the reason why they fail is because the people. I've had to hire and fire. It's the worst part of business, and they'll agree, because they're people and you care about people. And if it wasn't for Rob and Joe helping me in the beginning, where I didn't have to worry about the fucking equipment, the staff, Nona's, Rob and Joe saved my life, and Rob was a mentor of mine for a long time. So not to get too emotional here, but thank you. And also because of people like you and also Joe, that's how I live my life now. So I'm always trying to help. Like, there's a couple women I really helped. I was an angel investor in a couple black owned businesses, endless mentorship to entrepreneurs because that's what you guys did for me, and trying to give back. And I know, and the reason why this episode is so special to me, I don't even care if anybody fucking watches it. But like the way you guys have leveled up your communities, the way you guys have, built entrepreneurs inside your own community, between me, Melissa, she's got Miss Clean. I think she's going to make more money than the both of us, dude, with her cleaning business. Yeah. You watch people like us, and we cultivate people, we inspire people, and leaders create leaders. And then also, dude, the endless amount of fucking giving back, which is it's our gift, and we love it. Like what I respect most about you two is like you guys are in, like I went to Jack Citarelli's thing. You were back there fucking firing up burgers, right? And it was so cool because I was like, shit, I'm doing that all the time, right? Like I have to jump in, and when I get to meet Joe and I get to hang out with Joe, like he's in his kitchen, he's with his staff, he's working. It's just beautiful. So thank you. And I'm so happy to have you guys on the show. So for people listening,
that was a moment.
Joe Leone's, right? There's Joe Leone's in Point Pleasant. It's an Italian specialty store. It's some of the greatest shit around. Joe, I want to get into. So Italian people are really fucking crazy, okay? And we are. We are.
Yeah.
So I'm at a New Year's Eve party. I'm with my friend Maria and Giovanni, his dad Frank, and he's got these rice balls. We're talking food. We're talking cutlets. What I like to do with my cutlets, man, I fucking take the herbs, cut them up, garlic, salt, run it through the fucking Roboku. Then I dehydrate my salt. I make like this seasoned salt so I can get some more herbs inside the breadcrumbs. So when I season the breadcrumbs, the grated cheese, the parsley, all that fucking dehydrated garlic, get that nice flavor in there just to add that little extra pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's New Year's Eve. We had a bunch of drinks.
Is that your place?
No, we're at Gianni's and Maria's.
You brought the cutlets?
Well, we were just talking. So the guy Frank's this old school, Italian guy. We're talking.
Are we having cutlets?
I'm not sure.
Cause I'm hungry.
I hope.
Yeah, I'm starving. I didn't even know that you could. I didn't know that you can break down salt anymore. I'm learning about that right now.
I'm salivating as he's describing the breadcrumbs, man.
I'm like with the butter.
So
put more herb in there.
So basically, you season up your breadcrumbs, and I'm making these prior to the story. I'm making my chicken cutlets, and they're fucking great, right? Season up, a little parm, fresh parsley, my seasoned salt, right? The seasoned salt is like the secret ingredient that makes people say like, wow, what the fuck's going on here? Because you could add so much extra flavor, right inside the salt. So when I'm at home and I'm trying to show off, I always make some sort of seasoned salt. Even like the margaritas I just made for Mother's Day, I made like a citrus salt for the rim.
So it's not salt, it's a seasoned salt.
Take the oven at 200 and like whatever it is, right? So if you're going to make like a steak, you can take like your rosemary, your thyme, your garlic, even parsley, whatever you want, whatever herbs you want in there, throw it in your fucking food processor and then dump the salt in, depending on the color you want, right? It could be bright green, whatever. And then you dump it onto a sheet tray, and for like 30, 40 minutes, put it in your oven at 200. It'll dehydrate the herbs and the garlic. So all you're left with is this seasoned salt that you could season with, and it's fucking phenomenal. You could do like lemon, lime,
you
orange
get really
zest.
into it.
Yeah.
Seriously, right?
So
a lot of
a
lot of places like in Italy, they've been really going towards that.
We do an herb sea salt at Metro for the last like 6 years. I dry out 4 different herbs.
Yeah.
Dry them out, and then we add them to sea salt.
I didn't know you could do that.
You dry out the herbs first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tons of fresh herbs. I mean, we dry them out.
I feel like you just learned a secret right now. I feel like not everybody knows this, and you're like writing down notes right now.
Yeah. So like what you could also do too, if you really want to knock them out, is you can confit garlic in the oil and then do like a seasoned garlic oil with your
confit garlic.
Yeah. What?
Where does that come from?
Seriously.
Confit is from fat.
Oh, sorry.
It's actually it's a term for cooking down.
You're right.
But he's cooking it in oil, right? Slowly.
You're cooking it in oil?
Yeah. Extra virgin olive oil, right?
Okay.
So like you're cooking the garlic down, right? And then you could take the roasted garlic, where technically is roasted in extra virgin olive oil, but then you can go and, cook, whatever. Like this is all ways to elevate what you're doing at home and blow people's minds.
You're blowing my mind right now.
So
Jamie's very impressive. I'm very impressed of someone that's self-taught,
right?
Working out in a gym,
right?
Like making good, clean food.
I can't get over myself.
But, well, listen, all kidding aside, when he was at
himself
709, you did have great mixed drinks. I mean, like the way you were very passionate about it.
Well, so at 709,
you were a very good mixologist when you were there.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What's really funny is Rob's wife, this guy Scotty, like loved her, and Scotty was my insecure manager, and he ended up getting me fired. I want to fucking kill that.
Was this Scotty in the very beginning?
Yeah.
With 709, Carl Amana's place. And
I like Carl.
Carl's the best. Carl's one of my best friends.
Yo, Carl's the man, but he made Restaurant Mistake #1. You know?
Let's not go there. He's like family me. Take it easy.
He's the man. He is the man. But anyway, so.
Are we still making chicken?
This isn't chicken. So
it's the cutlet story.
Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm talking about the fucking breadcrumbs.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So. With like Italians, they don't put fucking cheese on seafood, right? It's
Correct.
like you don't do it. Now, my buddy's a fisherman. He's like Irish. He does all types of things like foul play in the world of like Italian traditional cooking, right? He does like fluke parmesan and shit that like Joe Leone, right?
You got a bucket?
You're not doing it.
Right.
I want to throw up.
No
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's like putting
cheese.
mayonnaise on a hot dog.
So
So
that's what it's like.
And Rob knows. Rob knows.
Wow. Speaking of hot dog, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Would you shut the fuck up? No, John.
I think is a hot dog a sandwich. It's
No.
inside 2 pieces of bread.
Why are you trying to fucking antagonize us?
All right, I'm sorry.
So I'm talking to Frank, right? We're talking to Frank. I'm fucking eating his rice balls, fucking meatball, everything. I'm like, bro, fucking so good. I'm like, yo, let me tell you about the breadcrumbs, right? So I'm like, yo, he brought over this puffer fish, right? So you know what the puffer fish are? So they're these little like fish nuggets. It's this white flaky fish. I mean, they're fucking delicious. So I'm telling him how I'm like, my boy brought it over. It was just me and him eating it. I'm like, yo, I threw some grated cheese in the breadcrumbs. He's like, you did what? You fucking motherfucker. I'm like, yo, Frank, like, yo, it tasted good. He's like, you don't put fucking cheese with fish. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is Johnny's house. His dad, Frank. His dad is fucking losing it. It's a fucking Brooklyn guy. I'm like, listen to me. I'm like, you put chicken base in your fucking rice balls, Frank. I'm like, you want to talk about fucking rules? You're using this powdered bullshit in your rice balls. Like, what the fuck is next, Frank? Like, you want to fucking go there with me? You want to fucking go there with me? I'm like, I'm fucking cooking for this Irish kid. He doesn't fucking know. I'm like, he doesn't fucking know. I'm like, it was delicious. He's like, I can't fucking believe you. I'm like, well, listen, bro, I'm going to give you some fucking seasoned salt I made, all right? I'm fucking sorry. So, with all these technical terms, Joe, is that how you are at your house? Like, will you throw people off the fucking deck if, like, what happens at your house during holidays? What has been some fucking sacrilegious shit that's happened with you where someone's like, oh, Joe, I made this, it's delicious, and they just fucked it up?
Oh, God. I can't even think of some stuff, but did the fish need the cheese when you did that, though?
I don't know if it did, but it was so fucking good. It was actually, they were delicious, man.
The crumbs were already made.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I made the crumbs.
It actually, I don't know the terms, and I'm not going to be like a know-it-all and say I know.
No,
I
but
know
you
that
do know. I've
there's
never met anyone like you.
But there is a biblical
oh, fuck.
thing.
Oh, my God, Jesus.
These are Italian kosher rules. That's what's going on. Like,
actually, you're right. Maybe
that's all it
because
is.
he was treating me like I was Osama,
No, but
Osama bin
like
Laden.
it's the separation of the tribes,
it's like
man.
like a it's not, it's something in the I don't know what it's all about. But like even with
He
me when I
lost
said
his
I'll have
mind.
a bucket, have I had cheese with fish? Absolutely,
Right.
I've had, especially over here in the United States. But like you're talking about making chicken cutlets. Chicken cutlets aren't Italian. Chicken cutlets is American Italian.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
No, he's
But
right.
because we were asking before, what is New Jersey Italian versus New York Italian? And he happened to allude to it, that he thinks that New Jersey Italian is more like Brooklyn, Staten Island, and New York Italian is now moving to like more authentic Italian.
Well, like the mainland of Manhattan, you know, you're having a lot of the people come from Italy
Right.
and giving their modern style cuisine on Italian food.
Right.
But if you really want to get to the nuts and bolts of it, really the American Italian cuisine in the New York, New Jersey area is really Neapolitan and peasant Neapolitan, Sicilian. You know, like my family comes from Bari. Your family, I know, is Barese.
Yeah.
Right. So there's things it's different. Every region has different ways of cooking, but like you never really see, like when you go over to Italy, you never see melted mozzarella on top of things.
Yeah.
You know, or chicken cutlets. Chicken cutlets is a homemade, you know, a thing that we had here. We had a lot of chicken. They took the same style of making coletta Milanese, like or a chicken Milanese or a veal Milanese, and they actually brought that they didn't have a lot of money, so when they come here, they have a lot of chicken here.
Yeah.
And they used to take something with the same flavors, but they substituted with chicken.
The first Italian chef I ever worked for, who was at some great restaurants in Philly, including French restaurants. And I mean, he was classically trained. He wound up leaving the United States and opening a place in Italy called American Pie.
Get out of here.
And he's serving chicken Parmesan sandwiches. And
how did he do?
As far as I know, he's still doing good. He never came back and asked for his job back, you know. So
that's amazing.
But
it's a totally different cuisine.
He saw the interest in people loving that food, which is the American style, and he said it should go great there. That's how I learned how to make a brick oven pizza. That's how I learned. And meanwhile, he said, I'm going to study this dough where you use dry oregano and cheese. I mean, the sauces. And bringing it there with the pasteurized mozzarella and shredded. That's an interesting
take on things.
So it's kind of neat. He brought that there. So
that's interesting.
And it's a great name, American Pie. So
yeah, it's a great name.
Yeah, it is.
One of the things for me, man, is like respecting history and respecting people. There's a lot of words like Italian people use that have been passed down, right? Like mozzarella, gabagool, all these words. And what's really cool is they said that there were so many Italian immigrants before World War I, World War II. Italy never had a universal language until World War II. So these traditions and these words were passed down before like telephone. So my, my great grandfather, dude came from Bayonne, his brother's in Staten Island. Nobody knows. There's no phones. There's no and it wasn't until there was a family reunion in Italy, they knew like how everyone got here. So we got to remember, man, like the cell phone's relatively new and to respect tradition. So like I went to Peter Luger. So, two of my best friends, their grandfather was Joe at Joe's Pizza. They have all the pull in New York. So anytime I want to go somewhere like Carbone, they got us. Remember we were in Miami, we got the Carbone res. They get me into Carbone. They get me anywhere I want to go. Peter Luger's did the steak sandwich. It was like the first new menu item they've done ever in over like 100 years. Mm-hmm. We get the steak sandwich. We reserve it, which you can't do unless you're big dog, right? So we get the steak sandwich. The owner comes out and he's like, Jamie, because he was all excited. Oh, we clean bros here. And I'm thinking, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm in Peter Luger's. You're excited to meet me. I'm excited to meet you. And he's like, what'd you think of the steak sandwich? And I'm like, dude, who gives a fuck what I think? Like, you're a museum, dude. Like, you are the fucking original steakhouse that started all of it. Like, when I go into a Peter Luger's, so I go into a Rayos, I am so in love with the history and the tradition. Because what food is, it's history and tradition. And for people who go and want to disrespect Luger's, like, oh, Bobby Feliz is better. If Bobby heard you say that, he'd smack you in the mouth.
That's right.
Because there's so much respect for the history.
Yeah. Enjoy
the history. Like, you're getting to eat at Luger's that's over 100 years old. You're getting to experience something that hasn't changed. Enjoy it. And like, keep it to, like, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. And like, when you look at like the Italian culture, you look at the history. I mean, Joe, that's why like I love being around you, man. Like we talk about like God, we talk about Jesus. Like you go to Italy, you're in the church.
Can we back up and talk about the steak sandwich? I would just like to know why you can't get the steak sandwich on a regular basis.
Well, they sell out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like
I had no idea.
Yeah, Luger's is like first come, first serve.
No, I know Luger's. I've been there, but I just didn't know about the steak sandwich.
I've been there like 100 times. I've never had this steak sandwich.
Me neither.
Thank God. Thank you. Somebody else would tell me. I didn't know.
Never heard of it.
I had no idea. I really didn't know.
He didn't tell you though. He had it as an appetizer.
Yeah.
And then he sucked down a good porterhouse.
Listen, that's what I would go for. I had no idea though.
I love how Luger's is like when you look at the menu. It's no bullshit. Like it's straight to the point.
Sure.
And there's no fluff on Luger's.
They do what they're good at, and that's what they do.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like their bacon.
Yeah.
Oh,
their
the best.
bacon is the best.
Yep.
See, one of the things what I find about Peter Luger's, you really want to get deep into Peter Luger talk.
Yeah.
Right? Is that the way that they age their meat. And I mean, the first time I ever went there, I was there with my father-in-law, and my father-in-law was like, this is a great place. I love this place.
Yeah.
There's just something about the steak. And I'm putting my feet down on the floor, and you hear the vibration. You feel the vibration. That's the like low velocity refrigerators underneath the place.
Wow.
And I'm the type of person where like I've been very gifted to just be like, hey, how you doing? I'm Joe.
Yeah.
How you doing? Like, wow, you like dry aging your meat downstairs? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You want to come down and see it? I go down and see it. The sawdust is on the floor. This is back in like, I don't know, 96, 97.
Wow.
And like, they have like the old brick sets that are there. I mean, the when you walked in there, you could just smell the age process of what's going on there. And then the other thing, when I went back up into the kitchen, they actually have one of those roll Remember, Rob, back in the day, they have like a roll grill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Where they sit there.
is it a broiler or a grill?
It's kind of like it's a grill, but a broiler. It's grill on the bottom,
hot as fuck.
and hot as anything. So
Yeah.
they're going 1,000 degrees in there. They're searing it. What a system, man!
Do you guys have a big green egg?
I've had one years ago.
I had one in my house, but I moved into an apartment, and they don't allow me to do that.
No,
stuff
right, the
anymore.
apartment.
I'll tell you, searing scallops on a big green egg, you can get that thing to like 800.
I never
Sears-
knew. I thought the big green egg was like an advertisement thing, but it's really good. It's good to cook on, huh? I didn't know.
It's like a clay oven.
Yeah,
that
right.
you
I know
could-
what it is. Yeah.
You could grill, you could smoke, you could make pizza. I mean, but when you get those temperatures that hot, I mean, you could do some cool
It's
stuff.
all about searing the outside, getting all the juices in there, and
Yeah.
that's what. And so it was really
I didn't know
neat.
about that.
Have you been in the kitchen in Peter Luger's?
Yes, actually.
But did you see how they had rare, medium rare? They had their own ovens.
Oh, wow.
That's how they separate.
That's how they
Wow.
separate, and that's how they nail it every single time. And they've been doing that forever. So
It
it's like,
makes sense. Like, we employ a lot of people. Like, you have to do
but
shit like
they
that.
adjust the heat.
The first time I went to Union Square Cafe, Danny Meyer was like that first guy doing.
Danny's the man.
He had like maybe 10 items on the menu, and he had a line cook that basically only cooked one app, one entree.
Yep.
One app, one entree.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you think about like the
So
acrobatics our guys have to do,
Wow.
like what we put them through in New Jersey.
And that's
you know?
why everything is so tight at those places.
Yes.
They were making the shrimp. They were making the shrimp cocktail like right there, like icing the shrimp down.
All
Like
right, walk me
their
through
parts
some
were so
shrimp
good.
cocktail. Or, like, how do you make your shrimp cocktail? Rob, you want to go first?
Go ahead, Rob.
I use as big a shrimp as I can. I try to get like 8s.
Yeah.
I keep them shell on, and
Got ya.
I start with a nice water bath where I put bay leaf in there and lemon.
I
and,
love bay leaf.
and peppercorns. We boil it. I actually have it down to a time, and I don't want to. I can't remember for the life of me. But
Yeah,
we wait
yeah.
till the water boils. We throw
I'm
them
taking
in there.
notes. Go ahead. I got
Pull it out.
Water.
Any like
portion.
orange juice, any citrus, just lemon?
Just lemons in
Okay.
there.
Lemon.
And then I do celery and carrot in there as well.
Oh, beautiful.
And then we literally just drain it and throw it immediately in a rice bed. As
Ice.
soon as we
Yeah.
ice. Sorry, not
Gotcha.
rice. Ice. Otherwise, it would be my. That's exactly how I make the fried
Yeah,
shrimp
yeah.
fried rice.
Yeah,
but
back
no.
when we're going
So-
to have drinks at Pekin Pavilion after the show.
Not me. I'm going back to
Yeah.
work, man. I'm
No,
not
you're
traveling
coming with
you, Rob.
us.
No,
I gotta have a Mai Tai after hanging out with Jamie for a little while.
it's my
so-
daughter's birthday. I can't miss.
People
her
are
birthday.
scared to
Happy
hang out with me
birthday.
now,
Because
Greg.
it's not just going to be one. It's going to be the rest of the afternoon.
They're like scared of me. They're like, "Oh no, I can't hang out with you." I'm like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Yeah, I was just at Osteria, and I was talking to Steve, and Steve's like, yep. He's like, Jamie was here, and we had a good time.
We had a good time.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So
Steve has no problem partying with Jamie.
Oh yeah.
And Steve goes, he's like, I'm no rookie. He goes, I can
So-
hold my own.
So I'm online and I'm watching this like linguine and clams, and I use like all fresh clams. So Joe,
Can
like,
I just
what-
say? Can I
what?
just say one thing? One thing I used to do the same exact process with the shrimp cocktail until sous vide.
Oh, you sous
I
vide?
started
you
sous
doing that?
vide in my the shrimp. That's what we've been.
What
doing
is
at the
that? I don't
store.
know. You got to tell me. Think of me as like a normal guy listening. I have no idea what you're
Now,
talking
how
about.
do you do that quantity though? I mean, I don't.
Oh, it's easier.
So
with
what we do?
quantity.
I got the big bath. We're doing
Okay.
all of our roast beefs, all of our turkeys.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
We're doing our calamari salad, everything. So
Oh,
we're
wow.
taking the
What
we're
is-
taking the shrimp with the shell, throwing that into a plastic cryovac bag, and we actually have a temperature prog that goes inside. It's a machine. You set the time, and you're just you're basically poaching in water.
Sous vide is a controlled water bath
Okay.
that never gets over whatever temperature you set it at. So it's in Europe. They're actually cooking
Dude,
most meats
I was
that way
yeah,
now.
Rob. I was gonna say, man, when I'm in Mykonos in Greece, man, like God, like the Staten Island, New Jersey, New York people, right? Like the like say like some seafood fried diavolo, right? Red shells, everything, pasta. I don't know how they did it. I was probably drinking too much, but
No,
they just fucking cut the bag, drop it right in the bowl. It's perfect. Like, I don't know what temperature they were cooking at to crack the shell open, but when you're like, so with a guy like, you know, me or Joe or Rob too, Rob's
Yeah.
got a bunch of restaurants. When you're feeding thousands of people, so if you have to make like, so like all of our sandwiches, we make the cold cuts, right? Like you make your cold cuts, some of them, right?
no, we
You-
bring them all in.
Oh, you
know,
do?
Yeah.
You use them boar's head?
Thumins.
Gotcha.
Boar's head thumins. We bring in the imported stuff from Italy.
How about roast
Yeah.
beef and turkey?
Roast beef and turkey, we do everything sous vide.
I feel like they're so much better that way. And I mean, you
We
could
take
even,
our regular top round, we
Yeah.
put it in a plastic bag. We fill up a big tank full of water. We temper the water down. My friend Steve Succo started the program. He retired, and then Anthony's in there now. He just started taking that up, and we're just doing a great job with our calamari salad. Like Everything in there
I'm
gets
curious,
cooked.
like-
It gets cooked perfect.
Yeah.
And that's what they do like over in Italy. They put everything in, they bring everything up to temperature, and then it's just easier to execute. So like,
Well-
we take the roast beef out of the bag,
Yeah.
and we just throw that on the we do that on a skillet,
Yeah.
and we just
Got a
brown it
little
on the
crust.
outside. But everybody says, your roast beef.
I'm doing it with pork chops. I'm doing
the
it
best.
with airline chicken
You know,
breasts
you
now.
might even, I mean, Joe, if you get the oven screaming hot, if you've put it in there cold, you might even be able to just fucking flash, like, fry it right in the oven.
You could a little bit,
Yeah.
Unless you have like the kind of like a combi oven or something
Yeah.
like that to kind of.
But
That's where
also
I'm cooking
another
my
thing
roast
too,
beef.
Greg. So like,
Guys, you guys are talking to like a citizen here. Like I'm like a regular guy. I don't know
So,
what you guys are talking
ultimately,
about. I'm
like-
learning a lot. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
so-
This is great.
Joe, like between all of us, there's probably like 1,000 employees under our belt, right? So to the public, we need to make the greatest experience possible
Yep.
and also safe.
Yep.
So what sous vide does is it guarantees a perfect experience every time that's safe. And that's another reason why sous vide is so great, is because it can't be fucked up. That's why I've invested in these combi ovens. They're like $60,000 ovens, but everything's a button. And that's because the customer, they get
Right.
so personally offended if something's wrong,
Right,
right?
of
Like,
course,
we're
I
going to
get-
give
yeah.
you your money back. Like, it wasn't a personal attack on you. It was a mistake. We'll give you your money back. We're sorry. But when you start to double down on technology or newer cooking methods where you can ensure a perfect result every time. Joe, on our way here to the show, right, I saw Todd was smoking. And
Mhm.
I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Because I'm looking-
Smoking meat. He's not smoking
Oh.
Right.
cigarettes.
Yeah.
Sorry. See?
Gotcha.
Because we were
I'm
there.
following.
I had my Moberg smoker going. We have a bunch of catering this weekend. When you're smoking barbecue, what you want to look for is clear smoke out of the chimney
Okay.
or blue. If you
Okay.
want to see tints of blue, that means that the fire is optimized. Fire is energy. So it all comes down to the velocity that the fire is cooking at. So if you see white or gray smoke, you don't want to see that. And that's usually an indicator that like somebody threw wood that's wet, or the temperature is off. Something's happening where the fire is not optimized. So I walked over there and I was like, yo, Todd, like, what are you doing? You cooking with like wet wood? And he's like, oh, I threw this on. And Todd is my right-hand man. He's
Right.
top of the food chain for Eat
Yeah.
Clean Bro. And I teach him as much as I can when it
Right.
comes to barbecue. But like to manage open fire, cook on open fire, be a pit master, there's things that like are maybe I'm just innately gifted with like knowing these things
Yeah.
or these details that I will never fuck up ever.
Right.
But with like a combi oven or a sous vide, like those are elements that will never, ever. So like I'm at Rodney Scott's in Atlanta. He was like famous for whole hog barbecue.
Unbelievable.
He's the man. It was the first time I ever went to a restaurant and had a piece of chicken and thought, Jesus, this fucking guy's better than me. And when it comes to chicken, I think I could possibly be the best. But I'm eating this smoked wing. It's crispy. It's perfect. And I'm like, fuck, this fucking shit tastes like I made it myself, right? And then the next time I went back and it was a little soggy. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, he is human. But it was raining. So the
Ah.
fucking wood was wet. So you can't get like, when you're trying to smoke chicken, you're trying to get that crispy skin. If the wood is wet, chicken's very fucking temperamental, dude. You have to be fucking chilling at like 290 to 300 at a heat just high enough to render the fat and crisp the skin, but not low enough to where the chicken doesn't hit the internal temperature you need.
But the normal person's not going to know that. Though.
Never. They'll never
gonna
know
it,
that.
No.
But people like me, Joe,
Right,
and
yeah,
Rob,
you
this will
guys-
drive us fucking crazy.
I can't say I'm not the best with smoking. That I've never really got into that.
Yeah,
land.
but you're a
That's why-
monster baker. Like, you're a freak
Yeah.
of fucking nature. Bro, you ever talk recipes with Joe?
Very rarely.
He's a fucking encyclopedia.
He and I usually have to get together, and they're like, they want us, like Monmouth County asks us to
Bro.
talk to the people and say what's going on in the world while it's
Bro.
shut down
Yeah,
during
yeah.
COVID.
Pretty
you
This
know?
nuts.
guy might be the only fucking person on the planet to know more than AI in Italian
Wow.
cooking.
That's
This
nice.
dude,
No,
something
let's not
nice.
go there.
Shut
No,
up.
More
let's not
than
go there. Stop.
AI.
No, no,
he
no.
knows more than
No.
AI. Dude, that's why when
I'm just Joe Leone. I just do my thing. I make my stuff. I'm
Joe
good.
Leone better
He-
than AI.
Better than AI.
Bro, this fucking guy has more recipes memorized in his head than you can even imagine, and it's all like it's super legit, and I'm really excited to have him. So, back to Frank yelling at me over the grated cheese and the fucking breadcrumbs. I wish I never
wow.
told
All
him.
over the place. Like, what are we
So
doing?
walk me through,
What's
yo.
going on
So
here
Joey, walk.
I thought
let's-
I was ADD.
All right,
I'm-
walk me through two things, right?
Go
Walk me
ahead.
through linguine and clams, and then we're gonna talk meatballs. All right, but I want to hear your linguine and clams. How you make it, right? What you
I
look
learned
for.
to make linguine and clams from my dad. My
Oh,
dad, by
that's
far,
magical.
makes the best linguine and clam sauce. I don't like using canned clams at all.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
But a lot of people tend to, and especially a lot of like American Italian restaurants. It's again, like you said about like what Danny Meyer used to do is they concentrated on one thing only. when you go to an American Italian restaurant, really good ones, you got like one guy doing 16 different applications on a saute station, right? But linguine and clams to me are middle neck clams, always middle neck clams. I don't like the real small ones because I like the middle neck clams because we get a lot of juice out of it, right? So what I'd like to do is I just like to steam them. I clean them really, really good.
Yeah.
I steam them, and then I take those clams with the shells, and I always put it in a now fancy cheesecloth. My dad used to take a T-shirt, an actual clean T-shirt, put it over a bowl, and just take all the sand and everything out of the clam shells and everything. Then he'd take the
meat out.
And he'd take the meat out.
Yeah.
And then put that onto the side. And then he'd take, like, that's only the half of it, just to get the juice out and get some steamed clams going, take them out. And then what he'll do is he'll take clams, middle neck clams, open them like clams on a half shell, take the clams out of there, put them aside, save that juice, mix that juice together.
Wow.
Wow.
Right?
That's going back.
Yeah,
But he goes.
Well, I told you you'd enjoy this.
I seriously.
So then what we do, so we got the clams, you got the steamed clams and everything else. He'll take those, and then all we're doing is he'll take, and what I love the most is he'll just take some garlic, olive oil, not extra virgin olive oil, because you don't want that burnt taste. Very little olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Get that going. And he'll put some hot pepper flake down there on the bottom in the oil. And then once that's there, put all that juice in.
Yep.
Put the raw clams and the cooked clams in there. Just let them cook, right? And then right there, and then you let that cook in there. And then we would cook the linguine right inside the clam sauce.
Oh wow!
Suck it up.
Any parsley, any wine,
and then just fresh parsley.
Yeah,
fresh parsley on top of that.
And no butter. No butter.
No butter. Now, one thing I learned from a place called Dominic's, my friend Mike Letteries told me he learned this from a place called Dominic's on Arthur Avenue in the Bronx. Cauliflower. Okay? Cauliflower. But what he would do is like make mashed cauliflower on the side. And he would make like a paste.
Almost a roux?
And he would, it would be like the roux. And put like a cauliflower roux inside the clam sauce and put that with the linguine.
Holy shit.
Unbelievable. The sauce sticks to linguine. And I mean, if you like cauliflower, you don't taste the cauliflower though.
I would think all the starch from the pasta being cooked in that would give you that.
Yeah, right, too.
Let him tell you about his fucking crab sauce recipe, bro, because he blew my mind. He's like, carrot juice. I'm like, Joe, I grew up on the beach. I'm like, fucking carrot juice? He's like, Jamie, I'm telling you, carrot juice. I'm like, well.
So if my dad's listening to this, Dad, I hope I did you justice with how we make the clam sauce.
Listen, Joe, I'm going to tell you this right now.
I can use a T-shirt.
I could fucking cry listening to that recipe because I know how meaningful it is to you, and it sounds fucking great. I mean, it sounds like
Would
real
you do
clams.
anything different than what I did?
I don't do as much work with the two types of clams.
How do you do yours?
I actually do make so I make clam stock out of using the big chowder.
Yeah, do you save the shell? You do anything with the shells?
Not in those.
No?
I do clam stock with the chowder clams, and then I'll chop those clams. Then I'll saute little necks in the main thing. I also love using like cockles or manila clams and just doing a huge bowl of them and letting all that juice go in there as well.
The juice that comes out.
Parsley, garlic, and no butter.
No, I don't like that with the butter.
What about
I'm getting such a lesson
So
here.
wait, you guys don't throw any wine?
I'm a guy that's shopping at Costco.
I'd put a touch of wine in there. I do.
Yeah, because I would usually, what I do is I would usually either beer or wine. I'd steam the clams in that, and I would save that juice. Typically, that's like a New
there's
England
nothing
thing.
like that fresh clam juice and
but
fresh
I'll tell
clams.
you, that fucking recipe you told me about sounds so fucking good, especially if
it's
like
just very basic.
Well, but that's Italian cooking, right? So like when you're in Italy, man, that's like how they're doing it. Like they're showcasing the sea. Especially, dude, you're getting clams straight. Bro, when you're eating food out of the Mediterranean or, it's just...
But could you do that for Eat Clean Bro, or is that, like, just overcomplicated for that?
Well, the thing with Eat Clean Bro that we do, so, like, our seafood fry diavolo, we're folding in, like, seafood stocks. We're trying to, like, just give people more for their money, right? So we're trying to take culinary technique and create things and give that farm-to-table experience that I don't think anybody...
See, I admire what you do because it's the clean eating. That you sit there. I mean, like some of your food is really like I've been snacking on some of your stuff through the years and everything else, and it's like this tastes so good.
Yeah.
And you normally think of like eating clean, it's going to be bland. You do a good job with it.
Thanks. There you go. When you're looking at a meal, right? You remember the meat. So like if you season the meat correctly, but if you hold back on like the broccoli and the rice, you could literally reduce the fucking sodium 66% right off the bat if you're showcasing your meat. and then you're folding it in with like your vegetable and your rice. You could really clean things up like that. And then also back to the history and the tradition of culinary, man. Food, bro, we used to be kind of fucked. like we take it now, like we all have 3 meals a day. Bro, people used to not be able to eat, man.
Right.
So eating was like survival. So when you look at like classically French shit, right? Like they were confiting, right? Confit. That was a method of storing food. That was fucking delicious, right? There was no refrigerators.
Taking the fat.
So the fat would sink to the top. There would be no way bacteria could grow. It was a fat cap on top. And they would just be like, all right, well, that chicken's good for however good it is, right? They would salt pack fish and shit.
Jamaican jerk was the same idea. Yeah. That was, it was to preserve food.
It was to preserve food, right? And there's all these things that made it throughout the years. So like I wanted to talk about meatballs because when you think about like Italian immigrants, like Italians came here very poor, and they wanted to be accepted into America.
Sure.
Like my grandfather enlisted in World War II at like 16 years old, fucking ran away from home and when you look at like these guys who were butchers and shit, and they would have to come home, and Sunday dinner was like a flex. I'm like, hey, we can afford food, you know? Like Italians would show off, hey, we have food on Sunday, right? Come over and eat. So like when you look at a meatball, and when I started learning a lot about food, I was so surprised how like kind of little meat there is in meatballs when you think about the bread, the cheese, the eggs. But when you look at like a poor farmer, someone who's poor, right? You have chickens who make eggs every day. You have leftover bread. You have fucking cheese, which didn't go bad, right?
But again, meatballs, American Italian. So actually the meatball is actually polpette.
Yeah.
Which is like little meatballs.
But the meatball is not an Italian. It's not.
It's a derivative of polpette. Polpette is something that's like a little appetizer, maybe Neapolitan more.
Little,
like
right? Like little.
But
small.
It's a little appetizer.
A little appetizer and fried, never really with sauce.
Yeah.
But with the meatballs, what they would do is they would make polpette, and they would make that with sauce and pasta, and it would stretch a meal out.
Exactly. Stretch it out.
But you know what's neat about like even the meatball thing? You look today, at one point we used all like the cheap cuts of steak and stuff. Like the skirt steak used to be free.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Osso buco was
used to be
free.
free.
Short ribs were free. Now they're actually have
Delicacy.
become the delicacy. Like, you know, you're starting to see short ribs for more money than filet mignon on a menu.
Right.
Yo.
Skirt steaks are the same price as filet mignon
Tell
for us
me
to buy
what
now.
beats a short rib ragu. When that's done right, I mean, holy fuck.
That's basically what you're paying for is the preparation, really. If
The
you think
execution
about
of
it.
the dish.
But
then
your
you get a couple
purveyors now are
people,
starting to charge you
the
for that
vendors
stuff.
are charging you a lot of
'Cause
money because we need it.
Supply and demand, there's
That's
not
right.
as much stuff anymore, you know?
I mean, ossobuco used to be, my grandmother used to go, they used to give it to them for free.
Yeah.
We used to break down at my first restaurant, which Jamie, and by the way, you started this, I thought I was getting roasted.
No, my God.
He fired me, and then eventually
No,
he was
well,
like,
you didn't fire me. If Victor's listening, Victor had a beef with me. I was so goddamn handsome. All the ladies love me,
You fired yourself.
and I fired myself.
I didn't even know that this whole entire episode was going this way. I had no idea.
What do you mean this way? I've told him he saved my life. I couldn't have made it any nicer.
This is perfect. It really, this is a moment.
great episode.
It's definitely a moment.
We used to do
He
so
was a
much.
mentor, bro. He used to leave his family on Sundays. We would meet at fucking Sweet Lou's in Freehold?
Yep.
We would talk business. This motherfucker gave me an education of a lifetime, and he gave up a lot of time to be with me, and I'll never forget it. And
There's
I'll always,
nothing that makes me happier than seeing you where you are.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
We used to break down 3 full legs of veal a week. That's how much veal we used to sell at this first restaurant because nobody knew from that, you know. And we'd use every cut, and then we'd save the shank.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And out of the shank, I could get 3 or 4 center cuts of, you know, ossobuco, send it back to our butcher. And back then, I don't even want to tell you, it was in like the guy's garage. You know, we'd go there. And
Wait, what? Yeah, I remember this story.
and he put it through his bands. I mean, he's still
But,
in
yo,
business
he's
today.
still in business,
I'm
and-
not bringing up who it is, 'cause, you know. But anyway, and he'd cut
I
down.
think I
for
know
me,
who
and-
it is.
You see his vans.
Yeah,
I know who it is.
I know
I'm
who
not
it
saying
is.
nothing.
you know, and I would out of a week, I would wait every 2 weeks. So I could have 24 or 36 portions of ossobuco, and it was amazing, you know. And that's how we made our stock with all the veal bones. And nowadays, you know, you don't go to a restaurant that has 300 veal dishes on the menu. You remember that? Like you talk about it. You used to have a chicken section, a veal section, a seafood section, and then, you know, the basics would be franchise, parmesan, marsala, and then you'd start doing sorrentino, and everybody had a name for something with eggplant piled up with a tomato and mozzarella. Remember?
I'll tell you, Nikki's restaurant in Belmar is kind of
It's
still
still
like
kinda
that.
like-
and
that's-
he's making all of his pasta from. You got to come see it. Maybe we'll go out there.
He's a great guy, man.
Oh,
Great
You
fuck,
got to
I
eat
gotta-
Chinese. We can't.
Well,
eat
I
Yeah,
gotta
you
have
got
him on
Peking
the show.
Pavilion. You can't, you know.
But I told him,
It's just a different noodle, man. It's the same food.
but Joe, your menu is absolutely absolutely insane. I mean, the amount of shit you have at
my
your place
menu,
is crazy.
you know, my menu is geared to the Jersey Shore American Italian, like you were saying, Rob. Chicken marsala, chicken parmesan, chicken francese. We sell a lot of that. Are they really Italian dishes? When you say that to an Italian, no.
They are now 40 years
Yeah,
later.
It's Italian in Jersey.
It's American Italian.
Back to how crazy Italians are.
Yeah.
I've seen it at Joe's place where I stop in to get something. There's these old Italian guys who just go there and they're playing pop quiz with Joe's workers. And it's like, oh, that's not real Italian. Do you have this? And they're like, I'm like, oh my God, dude, these people are so fucking funny. Like, this is great.
We try to prep them.
Oh, dude, there was this older guy. He was quizzing everybody. He's like, oh, I'm like, and then he had the mortadella he wanted, and he was so fucking happy. It was so funny. It was so fucking funny, dude.
I didn't know what broccoli rabe was because I worked in a kitchen with all Italian guys, and they called it rapini. Somebody came in the kitchen. There's a guy out there, and he wants broccoli rabe just sautéed with garlic and oil. And I'm like, I don't know if we have that, you know, like, and we had it, of course, but it's very funny, you know, and that's become a staple now at every Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
It's cool how it's changed over the years.
It has changed a lot. I mean, you talk about meatballs, right? You know, it was polpetti and then it was meatballs, and I made my meatball a certain way, which was kind of like a light, fluffy, you know, more like egg dumpling type.
Yeah.
Right?
So 3 meats or all beef?
3 meats.
All right.
I always used to use 3 meats. So I said to my father-in-law, I'm like, you know, I can't seem to knack it. I can't seem to get it. Not a lot of people are buying my meatballs again. He goes, all right, this is what we're gonna do. Took me to Graziano's on 88 in Point Pleasant Beach, Squan Tavern in Manasquan, Vic's over in Bradley Beach, and we ordered meatballs. And I've been in there, and he goes, look, they all have the same. Now my father always wanted to be Italian, but he was Irish, that's German, like Polish, right? Always was like, but he always wanted to be Italian. But my father-in-law grew up in Newark with a lot of Italians and Belleville and everything else. Yeah. But he was trying to show, like, this is what you're in the Jersey Shore. You opened up in Point Pleasant Beach.
Can we give a big shout out to Belmont Tavern over in Belleville?
Belmont Tavern's the best.
Dude, I fucking love it there. You want a blast from the past, dude? It's the best.
The best. Belmont Tavern.
It feels like you're back in.
But that was my father-in-law's
Chicken Savoy, man.
Oh, that was my father-in-law's main hangout. He loved it there.
Yeah, it's the
I
best.
actually have that on the menu at Scratch in Bradley Beach.
You had it in Nona's. It was fucking great. Yep. I'd order it all the time when I worked there before.
What did you have?
Chicken Savoy.
Chicken Savoy.
Okay,
but I gotta tell you, yours was very great. It was almost like a balsamic barbecue sauce. It was fucking great.
Slight difference. It's a play, you know.
It's really cool.
Oregano, Parmesan cheese, a little balsamic.
I never had a bad meal at Nona's. Never once. Never once.
By the way, there's a cute little movie out called Nona's now.
Yeah,
you gotta
I heard that.
Check it out.
I gotta watch it too.
Vince Vaughn, and it's pretty cool. It's very cute.
But back with the meatball, my father-in-law showed me. He's like, see, when you cut into it, it's meat.
Yeah.
So I took a little bit of the bread out.
Oh, really?
I added a little bit more of a meat blend to it. Today, knock on woods, we sell quite a bit of meatballs. We're very blessed. But to get into like the meatballs, but the chicken Savoy.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I mean, they make the best. Well, they, again, kind of like Peter Luger's, they have the old oven. Plus, here's another thing: you go to Belmont Tavern, right next door. They're killing the chickens.
Oh wow, that's cool.
But you're also 9 out of 10 people are ordering chicken Savoy there. You know, and that's. You become someplace known for a particular dish,
right?
And you got a guy that really is doing that over and over and over again, you know?
Yeah.
And they actually take the pans and they take it and they cook that chicken. I mean, those chickens are like total fresh kill.
Yeah.
That's
so like
really
the pores
cool.
of the pores are still open in the chicken.
Oh.
They're putting the vinegar in there. You know, like when you go to, I mean, even though it's like they say we make a good chicken Savoy. I've never had yours. But like up there, like you're opening it up, you're cutting in and the crust on the outside because they're cooking it in one of those draw.
Most people don't appreciate though the quality of chicken and
it's crazy,
all the different levels of chicken.
Now, I mean, everybody's got chicken now. Just like it's just chicken.
You can make a chicken look like it's 3 years old in 3 months nowadays. The way they force feed some of these things, and
sometimes they call it chicken. I don't even think it's really chicken.
The chicken's terrible. It gets this really like you know.
Well,
so you spend a little.
I do these tastings at ShopRite. There's like. I'm promoting the brand, and plus, we're all humanitarians here. So like, we are evil capitalists, right? We're in business for ourselves. Oh my God, 2025.
I'm past that now, James.
So
I'm okay.
But at the end of the day, we truly love the people. We truly love the communities. I'm doing these fucking tastings at ShopRite, and they're like, "Is that real chicken?" I'm like, "Well, like, what do you think? Like, what?"
Because we're all used to eating shitty chicken. That's what it is.
People are so fucking paranoid. I'm like, yo, 20 years ago, I was the same way. That's why I started doing this.
That's a good point.
And I'm like, I'm the owner of the company, and I'm here on a Saturday taking time away from my kids, so you could try this. Like, you think I'm going to put fake shit in your face?
But you understand it's because it's all around us. I mean, when you can go to a gas station and get a chicken sandwich, and you're like, is that really chicken? You know, how many times you go get chicken nuggets, these kids are eating, and you look at it, you're like, that's not chicken.
Yeah.
If you know what chicken looks like.
But even the chicken now sometimes isn't chicken.
That's what I'm saying.
There's $2 chicken, there's $4 a pound chicken.
There's
there's
$7
And that's
pound
why
chicken.
people
There's
are
$9.
asking you, right? They're not asking you to put you down. They're asking you because they're just so scared.
And then if it's not organic, they're like, whoa, like, and then you're like, fuck, dude, like you're taking me down this rabbit hole. I just don't feel like going
But
down.
do people really know what organic is? They just see the
thing
word
is,
organic and they want to buy it. That's it.
There's ways to bypass the organic. Like
They don't even know.
It's really, so I had a competitor. They were called Kettlebell Kitchen, and grass-fed beef at the time was a really hot buzzword.
Right.
And what they were doing were they were buying, so New Zealand over there on the other side of the world, by the way, if you look at where New Zealand is in comparison to the East Coast of the United States, it's legitimately on the other side of the world.
Okay.
And they were buying this duressed beef from New Zealand.
They also do it in South America now, too.
Well, ultimately, like, here's the thing,
Argentina.
Greg, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, especially the way they were doing it. And they ended up getting like a $27 million round, and they drove it into the ground, which was pretty insane. I mean, they blew like 27 million pretty quickly. Anyway, they were using this wordplay. So the rest is when like it's been killed, then it's been frozen, and it's about to be expired for like humans can't eat it. So then they were putting it on this like frozen shipping container, taking it across the world. And then they were like packaging it up in fucking Edison, New Jersey, and God knows how they were handling it, but they were using the fucking buzzword grass-fed beef, and they were trying to like hold moral superiority over me. And I'm like, would you rather have some local shit from New York,
Right.
that's fresh as fuck,
Yep.
or some buzzword that's about to expire, that's been on a fucking, what are those big boats called that has to get thrown in by a longshoreman, right? Those
Barges?
big,
Shipping containers.
those big
barges.
container ships. And then when people start talking to me about food, because like, guys, this is our life, right? So one of the most important things for a quality product is sourcing it. But then there's buzzwords, right?
Right.
So like, people are fucking freaking out over farm-raised salmon. Well, if you look at Faro farm-raised salmon, that's raised in the Atlantic Ocean with nets.
Right.
And it's this controlled environment where like everybody loves the Pacific, but what's in the Pacific? There's a lot of fucking nuclear reactors that have leaked radioactive waste. So
This is
depending
getting
on,
out of my life.
well,
I don't know where he's going with it. I don't
basically
know.
where I'm going with it is
Yeah.
like, it's important to be an educated consumer, but depending on how educated you want to get, you can go down rabbit holes like recycling, and my ass has been chewed up on the internet so many times, and I'm like investigating things, and I'm like, oh my God, like, fuck, dude, there's a pile of garbage in the Pacific Ocean the size
Sure.
of Texas.
Sure.
And then there's parts of India where people just crash like decommissioned ships and stuff. Like they just crash it.
I didn't
There's
know
like
this.
oil spills. There's all types of bad shit going on the other side of the world. And it's like, are you chasing down a buzzword, or like, do you really want to follow where your food is coming from? And then,
But most people are just chasing down the buzzwords.
yeah, I mean, the conspiracies are out of control. And
Part of it's really the eating, though. Like, I use Faroe Island salmon. I
it's
think
amazing,
a perfect
dude.
product.
Dude, the marbling is great. I eat it every day. I changed my uncle's life. When my Aunt Linda got bone cancer, his health was declining. He was eating a ham and cheese sandwich with mustard every day, and his sodium was through the roof. He started getting Eat Clean Bro meals, started eating my salmon, and the doctors couldn't believe like the turnaround. And they were like, well, what are you doing? He's like, well, my nephew has this company, and he's been giving me like salmon and rice. And they're like, well, keep fucking doing it. Like his blood pressure, his fucking resting heart rate, his cholesterol, all this shit started getting in check because he went from eating fucking cold cuts, cheese, bread, condiments to like homemade shit. And
see what happens when I fire somebody?
I see that. Right. He grows. I see that.
he didn't fire
Say
it.
he's
And I gotta
saving
tell you,
lives.
I gotta go back
He's saving lives.
That's more of a sad story that you're helping your uncle get better, right? You know, you've helped me out with kids that are underprivileged that can't eat on football teams.
Yeah.
And you're giving them meals. These kids have no food to go home to.
Right.
And with, Forget About Me, I Love You, the family mantra that I work with different football teams. Jamie gives 45 meals a week.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. These kids been doing this for 2 weeks, and like you could just see their energy. They're lifting better. They're getting stronger. So what you're doing, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Keep doing it. You did a good job by firing him, because he would still be working for you, all the ladies and stuff,
Yeah.
Well, there's a small story that I rarely ever tell. No. Jamie will tell you.
Yeah.
My partner Joe and I actually had a small piece of his company, and one day I said to him, I'm like, you made this happen. This is all you, man. You deserve this. It's all yours. And I got to tell you, I think the greatest thing is, I mean,
Thank you, man.
He was cooking literally 8 meals a week when it started. And by the time you left us, what were you, 5,000, 10,000? I mean,
I was shutting down Route 9, and I was giving cops food, and they were looking the other way because, bro, the zoning in Marlboro or whoever in Marlboro, like, if the cops didn't have my back in that town, I would have been fucked. And so shout out to Marlboro Police, baby. I'll do anything for you guys.
I don't want to change the direction of the whole conversation, but we talked about this earlier.
Yeah, we did.
Jamie really did it old school. He was out there saying hello to every customer that was picking up a meal.
True.
He knew who they were. He listened to them. And I think that's a huge, huge part of, you talked about, how do I make my meatballs better? Jamie was out there. Like, he listened to people. What is it you're looking for? Because you literally started with grilled chicken, broccoli, and, you know,
the basics.
Brown rice.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool. I wish Joe was here because he, like, one of the most vulnerable times in my life, I was like, Joe, I was literally out of a kitchen. It was like Tuesday. She's like, yeah, we're not renewing the lease. And I needed to find a kitchen by Friday. I called Joe and he's like, yeah, man, come over. I was like, wow, like, thank you.
Remember,
Jesus.
you had literally walk-in boxes.
They're good.
Delivered to the outside parking lot, man. You know, like.
And in the day of like social media and influencers, like, that's why it was so important to get guys like this on the show, because it's important with who you spend your money with. It's important, like, yeah, you know what, DoorDash is easy. You know, it's easy to DoorDash. It's easy to go follow a fucking influencer. But, like, at the end of the day, these are guys who are fucking sponsoring your kids' Little League teams.
Sure.
These are guys who are fucking feeding the nurses, feeding the cops, making the community go around. And that's why I wanted them on the show so bad, because these are my favorite fucking people. And yeah, man, like the little details and the intricacies of who we are and what we do on a daily basis with, like, feeding kids who don't have food. And then we got to deal with some fucking asshole on Yelp who doesn't like. I got a bad Yelp review one time where he didn't like my Chipotle.
Look out.
He didn't like my Chipotle chicken, right? And I'm in the middle of doing construction in my backyard. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, you got everything you ordered in the time you were supposed to get it, and it came the way it was supposed to come. And now I'm getting a 1-star review because you didn't like one of the many variable things, right? And then I'm like, and you got your money back. Like, you didn't like it. We gave you your money back on the full fucking order.
But they still had to go and give you a bad review.
And you're still hitting me with a bad review.
You know, what's crazy, Jamie, you know, you're younger than us. Whatever happened to somebody just calling up the restaurant and saying, hey, listen, I had a bad experience.
How about the mantra, if you don't have something nice to say? And by the way, call the restaurant. I will happily listen to any complaint you have. And by the way, I'm the first guy to say, if I screwed up, I screwed up. But instead, you read somewhere, you know, we're looking to be as close to 5 stars as we can.
Yeah.
1 star brings you down, just if you know anything about math.
Yeah, it'll kill you.
But to hear about a 17-year-old girl that they didn't like the face she made when he asked a question, you know, and I'm like,
the thing is when
imagine it's your daughter, for God's sake.
Oh, I know.
It's a
but
nightmare.
where we're at, and I was just talking to our marketing person about this, like, we get reviews all the time. We're very, very blessed. We get a lot of positive reviews, but there's always that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 that just stick to your ribs.
Yep.
Like, I just saw the look on your face when you just talked about this person. You remember exactly where you were doing construction about this. You know what I think it is? And I try to tell everybody, I think people are so insecure with themselves, and there's jealousy, and there's ways if they don't like, nobody listens to them. So now that they can sit there from a phone and go like this, I'm the type of person where, like you, if I do something wrong, I'll own it. If we gave you bad service, we'll own it. If something didn't taste right, we'll own it. But they don't realize that this puts people out of business.
But this is the extension. Like, I look at my restaurants as if they're my children.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously my children are on a higher level, but first of all, I spend 6 days a week working. For the last 4 weeks, because of Mother's Day and Easter, it's been 7 days a week. I actually took off yesterday for the first time. Drove into the city to see my twins. Their birthday was 2 weeks ago. But, you know,
my God.
And
missed this kid's birthday, bro.
And nobody understands when you say something bad about my place. And by the way, I'm not perfect. And the truth is, we're cooking every dish to order. So somebody's going to make a mistake.
No one's perfect.
And timing, and you never know what happened to that employee at that moment. Or if a customer asked you for something special. You know, I had a customer say something was bland. Please, no garlic, no salt, no pepper, they asked for no fat. I literally cooked it in water for them. I didn't know what else to do, you know. And then they write this thing that it's bland and took a picture of it and said, "Look at this dish." And by the way, and this is the best part, They asked for 5 ingredients missing besides that. They asked for no mushrooms, no tomatoes. So there's this thing. I'm like, don't take a picture of that and tell me I screwed it up.
You screwed it up.
And
I got one for you.
You're killing me because I walk away. It's like you saying your kids are ugly, your kids are dumb. You know. And,
what did you do?
By the way, I have 350 employees that depend on me. And by the way, before I get paid, I pay them all first. Right, so how about considering the fact that there's actually human beings behind this?
And another thing, Rob, that they don't realize too is like I'm in deep with like Dan Breezy, right? I'm in deep with like my produce, like our fucking vendors are also, and their employees, like they all depend on us to be able, like, because we're buying their food, we're buying their vegetables, we're buying their packaging, we're buying their containers. Like, not only are we employing people, but we're employing, like, I kept a lot of fucking people in business during COVID, dude.
Right.
So I kept my meat, my vegetable, and then they all came back and obviously reciprocated and helped me. Like, the thing is that people don't realize
the snowball effect of just typing behind a line. I gotta just tell you this story.
Yeah.
When you talk about this, we recently just had this. Your stuffed shells are the worst stuffed shells I ever had in my life.
How many were they? A stuffed shell expert?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Can you walk us through the stuffed shells?
All right.
Like, tell us about the stuffed shells.
We make the stuffed shells.
We
take stuffed shells. We boil them off. We cool them down. We put nice ricotta. We put egg, parsley, pecorino romano, a little bit of garlic. No, we don't put basil in there. Right? Just traditional like ravioli. Yes, we got a little bit of egg.
Bind it.
Ricotta. We bind it up. We stuff them in there. We put them on a tray, we freeze them, we pack them all up, and we put them inside our freezer. And we don't even cook them for the guests.
Oh, gotcha.
So, it's retail. Joe Leone's is retail. So you're coming in, you're buying that, and you're having, and you get your sauce, you put that over, okay? Now, we sell, I'm very blessed, knock on wood. I know I'm not supposed to do that in the studio here, knock on wood.
Okay.
It emphasizes it.
Yeah,
we probably, if I put an estimate, we probably sell, I don't know, roughly, let's say a little under 10,000 a year, okay? Customer, boom, boom, boom. Big long thing, takes a picture.
Wow.
The picture, what it looked like was terrible, what the final product looked like. We got the worst, They took the stuffed shells, put it in water, boiled it, took it all out, was like paste, put it in a pan, put sauce on it, and said, this is shit.
So do you have a giant instructions sheet that says the way you
make
baked stuffed shells is by baking them?
That's true, right.
But what happens here in 2025, okay, we know this. I even glance over things. No one reads everything, right? No one reads
anything.
Okay, so now what happens is we have the instructions on how to make the stuffed shells. Bake in the oven at 375 for 15, 20 minutes to the sauce is boiled, blah, blah, blah. Real basic. Not to go on
the word boiled right out of the language.
Well, we didn't put it boiled. We just put baked. It's not even there. Just take them out of there. Did I say boiled? I'm sorry.
You said the sauce boils.
Oh, that's right.
Delete,
the sauce bubbles.
The word
like that.
So the sauce is
we're trying to make it very easy that if the sauce boils,
he's not letting anything fly.
It's all I learn every time he talks. I love
here,
it.
so hear me out, right? Person goes, they're clicking, they're scanning. Joe Leone, bad review. Stuffed shells are the worst stuffed shells ever. These are disgusting. They don't read exactly everything that went down, and they don't look at the picture. That picture didn't, and now that person has the right to actually post that on our website.
Oh, Christ.
That didn't even come out of my kitchen, Rob.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
So how do you protect yourself from that?
You could accept or you could.
But here's the best part.
But how do you remove it?
Here's the best part. I have a CHO, Chief Heart Officer, that is all about the heart of Joe Leone's, about getting back to guests. Getting back to our team members that are unhappy.
So does he write back?
I love that.
She does.
CHO. I love that.
Yes. Chief Heart Officer basically is the heart, along with, it's probably one of the most important positions in my company.
Okay.
Because this person is designed just to go and deal with customer relations and connect that person with me.
It's a much cooler name for a PR person.
That is.
I like
exactly.
that a lot, man.
Right?
So she goes after him?
No, she'll write a nice email.
She carries a gun.
She carries a gun.
What do you do?
She'll email, hi, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah.
We understand you boiled the stuffed shells. You're upset with the...
Please give us some feedback. Let us know how to make right. Can I have your phone number so Joe can discuss this with you personally? So she's like, basically, she gets that person engaged to come and talk to me. And I'm old school. Come to me, talk to me, I make it right.
Yeah.
Okay? Nothing. They don't say nothing back.
They're cowards.
Don't respond.
They ghost you, yeah.
They don't respond.
I had a guy. Did I ever tell this story on the show?
Which story?
My doctor, he's like, yo, you think you could like hire my dad? I was like, yeah, no problem.
Never told the story.
So he's like Staten Island guy. We're like, yeah, bro, we'll send them out to Long Island. We would send these vans out to Long Island. It was the worst route, but he was like a limo driver. He was like a little older. He didn't care. He'd sit in the fucking car. He thought he put it in park.
Right. He denied it that he crashed into the house.
Dude, he fucking blasted
Right?
the house.
I remember
This
this
part
story.
of it,
I
this
know
part
this
I
story.
remember.
This
The
fucking
first
guy,
part I didn't remember. Now I remember where you're going with this.
bro.
Right.
He does structural damage
Right.
to the house.
Yes, yes.
Fucking blasts it right off the
Right.
fucking foundation.
Yeah.
And he acted like a 2-year-old kid. I didn't
Right,
do
he
anything.
do it, and there was cameras everywhere that caught the
Dude.
whole thing.
We got
Yeah.
every angle ever. Like
Mhm.
this show, right? See how there's a camera there? There's all these cameras.
Yeah, we got it.
So he hits the house, makes the delivery, backs up like nothing happens, right? Back to like having to get in touch with this person actually took my call because they were like, she starts screaming at me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Can't understand
right?
why.
I'm like, whoa, listen, hold on. I'm like, I would be pissed off if I was you too. I'm like, this fucking idiot's gonna cost me like 20, 30 grand. I'm like, I'm mad with you. I'm like, does your garage shut? She's like, I'm like, does your garage shut? Like, I need to know, like, because if you've ever hit your garage door, like, you don't want to sleep with your garage door open, you know? Got to close the garage. Long story short, dude, we end up within 48 hours. We
Mhm.
repair the house, we
Mhm.
jack it up, we
Right.
replace the foundation, we
Yep.
replace everything, and she's happy.
You
I
did
don't
the
know if
right thing.
I don't know if she orders anymore.
But you did the right thing.
We did the right thing,
You did.
and I never got a 1-star review from her. Can you believe that?
Because you did right.
But
I wish
think
everybody was
but
like
you
that.
know what? But in the world of reviews,
Yeah.
I fucking did structural damage to a house. You would think I deserve a 1-star review, right?
And so, but you fixed everything. You didn't get that 1-star review.
The
Yeah.
driver got a 1-star review, though.
What about some of these reviews, though? Do you ever think that maybe it's like newer chefs that are up and coming that want to kind of take you down, and that they're the ones that are writing these things up? It's not just a regular customer.
I honestly
think
though,
about that?
I got to tell you this. I think
That's the war that they're in.
I think when like you look at it, Clean Bro, you look at it, Joe Leone's, or you look at your restaurants, Rob,
Yeah.
like we've been around for so long. See, like I'm prepared food, and when people give me bad reviews, I'm like back to like the food influencers, right?
Yeah.
We're like 8.2, right? You're like, well, 8.2 out of what? Like, where is I was actually trying to help these kids. I was going to create a report card. So I had like my graphic artist and everybody. We were working on this report card because like ultimately if you get a review, people like us, right? Like Joe
Yeah.
and Rob and I,
Yeah.
we want to improve. We want to
Sure.
be the best we could be.
Sure.
But if you're comparing one of my meals to like Bobby Filet steak and you're
Mhm.
spending $400 on fucking surf and turf and lobster crab cakes and all
Right.
this shit, and they're
Right.
like, well, Eat Clean Bro's no good. Well, Eat Clean Bro is you redeemed a discount. You spent $9.99 on a fucking 8-ounce piece of meat
Right.
delivered to your house in a Mercedes versus $400 a head with Bobby's. Like, how are you? Where's the baseline for this review? You know,
Mhm.
and those are things that just drive me crazy. I need to fucking talk about the crab sauce, Joe. That's
Holy-
Joe DiMaggio's
You-
fucking crab sauce, right? From his mom. Where's it from? Tell the fucking audience about the
Does
crab
his
sauce.
brain really? I mean, it's amazing. I got to tell you something. You're amazing because you go off on a tangent, and I'm talking about not like a 1-minute tangent, 3-minute tangent. And most people go, and what were we talking about? You remember, man?
By the
Like,
way, before he even got here, we never thought this was going to go like this at all. I had no idea where this was going today. That's the thing about the Bro Show. You just don't know. You don't know where it's going. You don't know where it's going.
well, now I'm dying to hear about the crab sauce.
Yeah,
Oh my
I got to tell
God.
you, Joe, I saw on Instagram you were making that crab sauce. I fucking called you right away. I was like, yo, get me a bucket. I got a fucking gigantic bucket. I think I gave some to Todd.
And then you bathed in it.
We
like this.
fucking, bro, we ate all of it. Oh, God, dude, I can't wait for you to make that fucking sauce again, man.
It's
That was-
only made
When?
the last week of August.
You got to be fucking kidding
my
me.
birthday,
Are you kidding me?
because that's when the crabs are right at the spot where I need them.
I'll call Mike at Atlantic Seafood and I'll get a fucking bushel of crabs.
I don't
And-
want them.
no,
I want the ones that are in that week.
I think some of the best crabs are right when the water turns, right when they come out. That's when they're the biggest. I'll tell you this, dude. The hottest I've ever been was like the first week of June, scooping off the pilings right in Keyport. Man, they're fucking gigantic, but you got to get out before everyone else does.
You
And then these-
scoop them off the pilings?
dude, we're nuts.
Come on
And,
now.
People
what's
don't realize
funny,
how
right?
lucky we are, though.
that
Jersey's got a
legit?
lot
We've
of
got a
great
lot of good
seafood,
stuff.
and nobody knows it.
Really?
So
Our
I'm
scallops
in
are amazing.
Keyport,
I would
right?
never have thought that New Jersey had the best. I would never have thought that.
I'm in Keyport and we're scooping off the pilings and there's this kid like, yo guys, get away from the boats. You know how much money these boats cost, right? He's being really nasty. And me and my boy were in like fucking shitty clothes. We're in this canoe with a battery operated fucking thing. And I'm like, yo, listen, man. I'm like, this is gonna be really hard for you to believe, but I can buy any one of these fucking boats that are parked
my
here.
God.
I'm not
my
here to
God.
I'm not here to hurt
The
your boat.
damage, right.
They're like, no, you can't. I'm like, listen, man, whatever. Like, I'm like, what's your email? I'll send you a fucking gift card. It's really fun because people get crazy by the boats, right?
Mm-hmm.
They see like kids, and usually they are kids, but me and my boy, we go crabbing every year. And what's really cool too, dude, we go back into the creek by where the Jaws movie was in Aberdeen.
I didn't know that.
By where the bull shark. Oh,
That's
dude,
where they filmed Jaws?
the story of Jaws came
Hold on,
from.
they filmed Jaws in Aberdeen?
No.
No,
Aberdeen was
Shark River.
Cape, Jaws was, I think, in Cape Cod, up in Massachusetts. But the story. So where I'm from, I grew up in Lawrence Harbor, and all the creeks run into like Matawan, Aberdeen,
Right.
and it's really far from the bay, and it's very far from the ocean. And the fact that there was a fucking man-eating bull shark in one of these creeks is almost unbelievably, like, it's unbelievable. So we go back there into those creeks, man. We throw the box traps. It's fucking funny too. And plus we're in Matawan, dude. There's always like blacked out Spanish guys drinking Coronas, fishing. It's fucking great. I mean, I'm all
out Spanish.
Oh, dude. Well, dude, if you drink, guys, listen. And I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but when you drink in the sun,
Yeah.
come on.
You get tired fast,
The
man.
tired, you get fucking
Passed out.
inebriated.
Yep.
So if you're drinking in the sun,
Yes.
you get blasted.
I'm hitting that age where I just get tired anytime.
I'm
Oh,
getting
dude.
blasted.
You get blasted.
Yeah.
So a little Jersey history, man. There was all these shark attacks, and the people, the survivors and the witnesses said they just thought it was a log floating down the water.
But it was Jaws.
Dude, it was a fucking bull shark, man. Fucking killed a bunch of people, man. It's really scary. And dude, I grew up swimming in that water my whole life. Well, I must, you know what? it was now condemned water because it's all like lead infested.
He always swam with somebody smaller than him.
Yeah,
that's-
Right.
That swam slower. That was his.
Yeah, true.
I do want to know, look,
It was great though. It was great growing up on the being able to fish, snapper fishing. Joe,
Right.
you fish at all?
No, I don't go on boats. I get
No?
seasick.
I get seasick too, man. That's why I do like the land. But the canoe's fine.
So you guys cook the seafood, but you don't go out there because you get seasick.
Bring it in.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Cook
you
it
want to
and
know
eat it.
the crab sauce,
Oh,
right?
yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Oh,
so I got to
my
keep him
God.
online, right? Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyway, I had a really, God rest his soul, Nick Nicolosi, very good friend of mine. He was grown up best friends with Joe DiMaggio.
Yep.
Okay. He always used to rent a house down in Manalocan. And always around my birthday, in the last week of August, he'd always rent and he'd say, "Hey, Joe, you got to come over to my house. I'm going to teach you how to make crab sauce." Joe DiMaggio's mother showed me how to make crab sauce. I
Yeah.
said, "Really?
That's
Okay."
Really?
fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
You
And he
are-
only sells it one day a week.
Wait a
1 week
second.
out of the year.
That's legendary.
Fucking
Hold
So-
on.
Dick.
Are you kidding
I
me?
always go crabbing on my birthday.
Do you call it Joe DiMaggio's mother's crab
No.
sauce?
Come on.
Oh
bro.
my
You
God.
want to make money
you
or
need a
not?
marketing
Joe?
I have some relative
Seriously,
call me want royalties
Besides your
for it.
chief
Yeah,
part
yeah.
officer, you
What?
need a chief marketing.
Yeah,
need a-
come on.
you need a chief
CMO,
revenue
yeah,
I
officer.
couldn't
my
keep. I
God.
can't
Joe
keep up with it.
DiMaggio's mother taught you how to make
No,
this.
she didn't teach me how to make it.
It's her sauce.
Nick Nicolosi was best friends with Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio's mother
Taught him.
taught him. Now,
I
the
see.
crabs are a little different over in the Pacific. Now, don't go on another tangent about the Pacific.
Please.
No.
Yeah,
Please.
they have the sheep crabs there and all that kind of
We
stuff.
don't want to know what's
right?
there. We don't want to know what's there.
I'm not talking anything California related.
All right, good.
Okay.
It's a hot button.
So-
Another hot button.
So I said to Nick, Nick, I go crabbing on my birthday every year. Whatever I get, I'll get a bushel or something. I'll come by and we'll make crabs. Yeah, no problem. So what we do, or what he showed me that she did, was a sherry,
Yeah.
regular
Very
cooking sherry, and carrot juice.
Carrot juice.
Carrot juice. And the carrot juice with the sauce. And what we do is we take the crabs, we clean them, and then we just saute them in the oil and the garlic and everything, get them going, take them out. Then you put some sherry, you put the carrot juice in, let that cook. And meanwhile, what you're doing is you take 50% of the crabs, you push them over, and then the other 50% you pick them and you make the meat.
So is the
come out.
carrot juice for sweetness?
Yeah, it's just for the
It's a
sweetness
very
of it.
interesting sweet. That
And
Keep going. I'm sorry.
and that's the crab. So last year was the first time I ever sold crab sauce at Joe Leone.
It was the
Right.
fucking best.
And I
stopped
put it
when was
and
online.
then there's a tomato.
We have a
base
very
to it,
good
too?
marketing
Sure.
person at Joe Leone's that said, I want to tape you crabbing. I want to tape you making it.
It was
It's a
fucking
tradition
awesome.
that I do. I always go crabbing on my birthday. That's just something that I do.
Yeah. it's
And then I
awesome.
make crab sauce for my family. But I got so much crabs, I was just like, and she posted on Facebook, and the next thing you know, everything. See, that's where the good side of the internet is. Like with the whole, oh my God, let me take a bucket. Then all of a sudden, we're going all over South Jersey trying to get crabs.
Yeah.
We made like I think 100
It was a lot.
3-gallon buckets.
That bucket was fucking awesome.
But you know what? That's you talk about the internet again. That's the real deal. You're making something and you see it and it's fresh and there's something different you do. It's not just, oh, this is the best crab sauce I ever ate. And then half hour later,
that's what people need to know.
That's the best crab. But that's real. That's love. Yeah. It came from somewhere.
So I told the
the
story about I don't like see one thing with me. I will always give credit where credit's due. If someone showed me something, I'm gonna tell you who showed me how to do it. Just like the the clam sauce. My dad makes better clam sauce than me, and I want it to be that way. I don't want to make better clam sauce than my dad. I always do it a little different than my dad because I like that.
Yeah.
No one makes broccoli rabe and linguine with garlic and oil like my grandmother did.
Yeah.
I've been around the best chefs in the world.
Yeah.
Kash,
but you're sharing
Rob
your
Kash. I mean, I've been around. I've been around.
I don't mind being in that company.
No, but like I've cooked with some really great chefs. Keller and some great chefs out there, and like I want to remember what my grandmother made me.
Yeah.
Like you name your restaurant Nona's. Like you want that taste. Like no one will ever duplicate that taste of what my grandmother used to make.
What are some of the best things that you guys cook that you don't sell in your restaurant or in your store? Is there something that you guys make and you're like, it's just for us, it's just for home?
I have this one ingredient that when I cook at home, I love. I love
Right.
tazo ham, man. Tazo ham. I think it's the most incredible thing. If I can find it, I use it and I just make myself tons of soups and I'll make lentils and stuff. And it's just, I don't have enough of it. We use prosciutto butts and we use pancetta and stuff like that.
Right.
But to me, there's nothing like that in the world.
But that's for you. That's
Yeah,
yours. See, that's
that I
nice.
love.
You treat yourself with something like that, your family with something like that. That's special. I like that. How about yourself?
So there's a field in Newark.
Yeah. I'm following you.
I've never told anybody this story. There's a field
Wow,
in Newark.
there
Have
we
you ever
go.
heard of Gardoons?
I don't know.
You ever heard of Gardoons?
No.
Gardoons is kind of like it's kind of like a celery, but it has like it's like a very bitter natural celery that grows. It's a weed actually.
Wow.
But it actually has like a stalk on it. And there's this spot. I cannot tell anybody where this spot is.
All right, don't tell us about the spot.
I've been going out there, and I go, and it's always right when the season changes, like right when it gets to be like it goes from like 70 into like the mid 80s. But sometimes you gotta watch, so I'll take a ride up there, and I'll go if it gets like really hot, like within 2 days it's 80 degrees, because they start flowering, and there's like this flower on the top of them. It looks like a fennel stalk, right? You cut them up. Washed them really good. I mean, it's on the back of a warehouse in Down Neck, Newark, that my uncle showed me where to go and get these. And I'll get maybe, I don't know, like 3 pounds of it.
Yeah.
I go home, I clean it. I just take it with a little bit of seltzer water, egg, grated cheese, parsley, salt and pepper. And I make like a batter and I fry them.
Interesting. And that is for
that
you.
Stays
That's,
home.
And
that stays home and in here.
See, that's what I like. Right. What about yourself, Jamie? Is there something that Eat Clean Bros
and plus
never
my
gonna...
gravy, plus my Sunday gravy that
Yeah.
stays home to me. I
That's
don't make
cool.
that for the store.
Probably just like my Italian cooking. If I'm cooking for my family.
Yeah.
Like the crab sauce. I love scallops. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff I love that probably just wouldn't work with like prepared food,
But you got to keep something for yourselves. All the hard work that you guys put into your restaurants and your store, there's got to be something for you and for your family.
The thing is, like our gift, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a curse, but basically like we want to share our love with everyone and the people who support us. So like the reason why the 1-star reviews hurt so bad is because it's like, dude, I'm here for you guys.
Right.
Like I could be coding fucking software, making quadruple. Like we're not doing this for the money.
Right.
We're doing this because like we love what we do and we want to serve our community and we want to help people.
I get it.
Just like when we're talking about like Staten Island.
No, we're raising our families with it. It's not like we're just doing this.
It's not for free. It's not for free, but like people are being kind of nasty in the comments, right? To us.
Jamie knows I went to law school. Like
Did you really?
I'm a license.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say I still am.
Right.
I passed the bar in New York and New Jersey, and I grew up in the restaurant business. My grandparents were in it. I said I always wanted to do this. I love it. And to this day,
you love it.
I love going to work. I love my employees like they're my family.
Absolutely.
I love my customers like they're family.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's like somebody sticking a dagger in you.
And his employees love him like family, because I know a lot of his employees that work for Rob.
Even some of them that fired me. And I fired, and then I come back to be on their podcast.
We still love them.
I just want to say something about like stuff that stays home. I'm one of my biggest blessings is I married a woman that cooks amazing.
That's
wow,
cool.
that's
So
interesting.
I do have
That's
different taste in
interesting,
Joe Leone's.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I would say to my wife, I'd say, Jen, why don't you come and make this at the store? And she goes, no. And she's very old school, like my mother-in-law is. And like, no, I cook for my family.
I guess
Interesting.
I guess
like,
I'm
you
a
go
narcissist.
and do this for a living. You make, you go and do this for a living, and we love your food, and you're a great chef. And my job is on Sundays is macaroni and gravy and that.
Well, can you have me over one of these days, man? Like, we're
No
fucking
problem.
friends or something?
Because I was going to say, I married a woman that says I cook great.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I
you
don't know.
cook great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, you're smarter.
But I'm good
you're way
as
smarter
a
than
chef,
I
a
am.
baker.
Although-
you marry someone because
Although
I mean,
my
listen,
wife can make a hell of a cocktail.
Yeah, you don't
and
want to have
Jimmy
to go
will tell
home
you.
and have to cook dinner for everybody. No. You want
I'm
to go
very
home
blessed
and
with that.
Right.
Every night, food's on the table.
That's it.
Everything's always there.
Well, could you imagine?
And my wife would take would bless that.
Yeah.
During the time I was dating my wife got to know my grandmothers.
Yeah.
She knows what I was growing up on and was raised on.
That's great.
See, my
That's
wife
great.
makes a hell of a cocktail because her and Jamie actually tended bar together.
Yeah,
Oh, there
for a
you
while,
go.
so-
There you go.
And she hated me for the longest time.
That's not true at all.
I'm joking. Guys,
She actually loves your nickname for her.
Yeah. Square. We were finished. We had a long night or whatever, and I had a joint. And I came from New York City, so people would just smoke weed at the bar all the time. We'd be out in nightlife, people fire up, no problem. So I pull the joint out and I go to light it up. And she's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? That's illegal." I'm like, "What are you, a fucking square?" I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's illegal. Like, what are you fucking? It's just weed. Like, what's the problem? And dude, she's like, "You can't light in here. We're all gonna get fired." I'm like, "No one's gonna know." And anyway, and he just got.
You know what's funny about that though? Earlier we were talking about smoking chicken.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, we had a nickname for weed, which was chicken.
Oh,
And when
wow.
you just said smoking chicken earlier, I'm like,
Oh, wow.
there's got to be a friend of mine listening right now that's going to laugh when they hear
Yeah,
that. So
I'd barely smoke weed now. I mean, God.
Thank God. There's nothing wrong with smoking weed,
Yeah.
but you'd be just totally lit up all the time if you were smoking a lot of weed.
Can we ask them their thoughts about what is happening here? Because we talk about it week after week. And I think it's the going question, what's happening in Monmouth County? Why is Monmouth County becoming the epicenter of all these amazing restaurants and all this new food and everything?
Yeah. What I wanted to say is,
Right.
So Joe's Ocean County, Point Pleasant's on the tip of
But
Monmouth.
it's still so, yeah.
And we also have a store in Monmouth County.
Right.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Manasquan.
That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, your Manasquan store is beautiful.
Right.
So like you said, you're a civilian. I said earlier in the show, these are the guys that were essentially, they pioneered the territory. You could see directly, you could see the impact that Joe has had in Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
The food scene in Point Pleasant is directly related to the level of Joe Leone's culinary, and then the same thing with Rob. You could see what he's done, and just like Nicholas. I wanted to have Nicholas on the show, but he's there would be too many people. But I would say you three are really the pioneers of this area that really took the food up a ton of clicks, and then obviously the New Yorkers came in.
There was good. I could say that with you, but my opinion,
No way. Dude,
put
you're the
I put
reason
my-
Point
I
Pleasant
put-
is what it is today.
I put myself in there. There's good places around. There's always good chefs around.
You know,
I
it's
disagree.
funny. I've been around.
I think it was Joe, dude.
I don't know about that. There's
That's
good
all I hear
places.
about consistently down.
Bro, you've been around
you're
for
a
fucking
pioneer,
forever.
man. That's it.
It's hard to make it here.
I was just going to say, how difficult is it to stay on top, right? I mean, you got to be on top of your game, and that's got to be difficult. How do you do it?
He loves what he does, dude. He doesn't think about it. He just fucking does what he loves.
I do. I welcome people.
You're fucking there all the time.
I don't.
Got to be there.
He's there.
I try
Gotta be
not
there.
to worry about what other people are doing. I like to do what I try to do good and do the best I possibly can and coach my team. And I try to surround myself with people that are better than me in certain areas of my trade.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worked. For 28 years, it's worked. We've had some people come in and try to duplicate. They try to replicate it and then duplicate it. But, I just try to stay focused on what I'm going to do. But, I mean, you have some good talent around us. I mean, Charlie's came in since I've opened.
Yeah, so Charlie married Chucky.
Yes.
And Chucky's sister introduced me and Kayla. And then Lily, who's Lily, she married us in Italy.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Very
really cool. Yeah, but Charlie's came around. And
They're
then,
great.
And then, you got Mike Jerez down in Seaside Heights and Atlantic Bar and Grill. I mean,
he fired me too, that motherfucker.
Oh,
Did he
my
really?
goodness.
I'm
I
sorry.
got fired by everybody. It's fine.
Oh, my goodness.
He fired you from 709?
Yeah.
Dude, don't feel bad. Aaron Rodgers was fired. It's all right, man. It's just,
Well, somebody fired me from 709. It's whatever.
It wasn't Carl, though.
No, I thought Carl liked me. I like Carl too. I think his kids follow me too. I like his kids too.
You had to go back
Meg's
to that,
great.
right? You had to
Meg's
go
a
back.
great chef. She just won Chopped. I mean,
Oh shit, that was her?
yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's fucking
Meg.
awesome.
But I mean, she did great. I mean, there's just a lot of good stuff. Scott at Poached Pear's great. I mean, we got Lou Smith from Blend. I mean, there's a lot of good culinary talent.
Oh,
around.
without a doubt. I
don't like that. It's just being me. I just don't like to say that, oh, Joe came in and he set the bar of what it is.
I can tell you it was a team of people, but between you three, right, like Nicholas, like I remember working in Asbury Park. I know that fucking Nicholas was feeding Asbury Park chefs left and right. I know that like you guys fucking, you were the first Italian restaurant on Route 9, which sounds crazy. Yeah. And what you've done at Point Pleasant is incredible.
I thought, listen, I remember the first time I went into Nona's, and I thought Nona's was like, it definitely tipped it. It went up a little higher than a lot of the other places.
So I can tell you a pretty cool story, though.
Yeah.
In 1992, I lived in Manhattan,
mm-hmm.
and I met my first wife who lived out here, and she
Yeah.
worked in Freehold.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a pizzeria that was closed down, and we opened it called Cafe Colore. And I put a brick oven in there,
mm-hmm.
and it was the first
that was you,
Italian restaurant in probably Monmouth County that was actually not a pizzeria in the front where you sat in the back and ate your chicken parm.
Yeah.
And we had a menu that was so strange to the local public that they were like, what is this, French?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, every guy in my kitchen was from Italy. I didn't even have a Hispanic guy besides maybe one dishwasher. Italian was the language spoke in the kitchen.
Wow, that's cool.
I had to add to the menu Parmesan, Francese, and Marsala available upon request. And there was a reviewer for the Asbury Park Press. I don't know if you remember, Andrea Clearfield.
Absolutely.
And she hated every Italian restaurant in the world.
Wow.
And she came in, and we got a phone call that said, we need to your hours and this and that and a little background. We came in and did a review. And I said to her, I go, can I ask how we did? And she goes, you'll read the paper tomorrow.
Oof.
And I'm like,
that's a good thing to stay to you that night.
And I'm like,
oh yeah, you're up all night.
Now I'm gonna
be rough.
Now I'm gonna saute 200, 220 dinners. Walk out of there like ready to fall over.
Yeah.
And I said to her, you don't understand. You have a lot of clout, because that was pretty much the only person that they read in this area. That was the equivalent of the New York Times, and people used to read the paper back then, 1992.
Wow.
And I said to her, I go, all I want to know is, do I need to bring extra staff in so that I could provide a good experience? Because I know if it's a good, and she wound up giving us a 4-star review.
Nice.
And
wow.
It was
Wow.
the only.
I never knew that was you. You guys used to do a great job.
Thank you.
Incredible.
And I have to tell you, the only thing she gave me a hard time about was we had, and this is going back 32 years ago, right? 33 now. We had olive oil on the table, and people would always say, do you have butter?
Oh, fuck.
And you know what? And by the way, there's plenty of ways to make nice butter now and stuff like that.
I
But
make a mozzarella butter, by the way. I just started making that 2 weeks ago.
like at Metro, I do a maple butter. We do real maple syrup
Oh,
mixed with
yeah,
the butter.
yeah.
I do butter with sea salt. But back then, like, nobody knew in New Jersey that you could eat bread with olive oil. It was like unheard of. So that's what was on the table, sometimes with a sprig of rosemary or whatever.
And now everywhere you go, you always want the olive oil with the bread. You
I do.
So like 40%,
I don't want it.
40% of the people would say, do you have butter?
Yeah.
So in order to give them something, I had those stupid Continental butter packets. At her table, she didn't ask for butter. She ate olive oil.
At the other
But
table.
next to us, somebody, and she saw that butter go down, and she said, the only thing that didn't make this restaurant perfect was the butter packets. And all I thought about was, should I just tell people they can't have butter?
Did you put butter packets on that place again?
But that's the irony.
But here's the great part. I got rid of butter packets that day.
Yeah.
Wow.
I started buying Kluger butter and cutting it right
For the rest of your restaurant life?
Well, I never use any packets of butter anymore.
Anymore, since then.
No.
So that was the last night that you did that.
Well,
So you got that right.
I'm not going to lie, I probably used what was remaining until we ran out of it. Because back then, I can't buy boats like Jamie, but back then I needed to save every. All right, Jamie, I'll take you on my boat. No, I don't have a boat.
Yeah. None of us have anything.
The only boats I own are the ones we put sushi on for a display.
Ooh,
but anyway,
sounds good.
that was the end of the butter packet ever again. So, you talk about it again.
Yeah.
You have an issue. Call me and tell me what it is, and I will do, especially if I agree that I screwed up, did something wrong, or, you know what, I took that to heart even.
Right.
And unfortunately, to this day, 30-something years later, I take everything to heart.
Always.
That's the irony of the hospitality business, where it's like you have to be a creative, but you have to show hospitality, and you have to be a businessman and give people what they want. And then it's like you're kind of bending on your vision, but you're like, dude, if this makes somebody happy, I have to do it. And and you're in the business to make people happy. And then when you lose a star in a review because of a butter pancake that fucking makes your skin crawl, you're like, oh my God, I know. Like,
but again, they're human too, and they're perceptive of what it is, you know.
Yeah, but it's just the irony of
I
hospitality.
just miss the days of pre-Yelp, pre-Google review, pre-all that. Just call me, say, hey, listen, I had a bad experience. Hey, I messed up on the stuffed shells. Can you coach me through it? Can I come in? Maybe I did it wrong.
But you know what's interesting, Joe? We come from a time when there was no Yelp. Then all of a sudden Yelp came, and initially Yelp was like a bitching site. It really was.
Oh my God, geez.
And then all of a sudden I start getting things from like my doctor's office, like rate us on Google. And I'm like, why is somebody going to go to my doctor because I gave him 5 stars and said he was the best surgeon
we were talking about that.
And the thing that's neat is, nowadays you actually like, I don't know what the right is. You go fishing and you're like, ask people, can you give me a good review? Hey, and there's restaurants opening up right now, and before their first day open, they got 35-star reviews.
How's that happen?
I guess
they pay for it. They feed it.
They ask their friends or their employees. And what? And it is an important part because there is no longer, a Zagat's guy. That's what I used to do.
Right. Where'd that go? Nobody even reads it anymore. There's nothing out of it.
That's when you found out how good's a restaurant. Or you looked at a New York Times review and you ran there, or even Asbury Park Press.
But that's the whole thing. Like, who qualifies people to do reviews?
Yeah. So
it's what you interpret on how something's supposed to be made.
Yeah. The future is going in a weird direction. That we're old school, and I'm younger, but I come from old school thinking, right? I started my business old school. I still run my business old school. Essentially, dude, everybody's carrying these phones. They have the attention span of a goldfish. They doom scroll, and they're getting like 40 to 30 second blurbs of like where to go. And they're like, oh, that looks cool. And then there's some sparklers, or there's something that catches your eye. There's this hook, and you're like, oh, wow, I'll go check that out. I'll go there. And these people are getting paid on it's this evolution, but podcasts like this are to help my old school friends who are doing right by people get some digital assets and be able to promote. I'm glad I got to talk about the linguine with clams. We got to talk about meatballs, and we got to talk about the crab sauce, some of my favorite fucking things. And
firing you because we got
I
got to keep bringing it up now.
I was just joking, but this episode was for me. Greg, these are my favorite fucking people ever.
I have to tell you, I learned a lot today. I didn't, I didn't get a chance to really chime in, but I don't think I needed to. I needed to just kind of like learn. And I think that this was really a great learning session. Also, to see that intimate moment for you and your friends here, what this whole thing meant to you, I think that was a plus today.
Yeah.
This guy is a rock star.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No.
The amount of passion he puts into his business. And he's learned that along the way, and he continues to do it. And it's an amazing thing because the guy I'm talking to today is very different than the guy 15 years ago.
Oh, my God. Yeah, dude, how much of a menace was I 15 years ago?
I mean, you know what? You got in your own way, but you knew what you wanted to do, and you wanted to do it right, and you continuously did it right.
Thank you, man.
God bless you.
And I'm proud of you,
too. Keep doing it right, man.
Keep it up, brother.
You guys, so.
Before we get out of here, this or that. So if I say New Jersey Italian or New York Italian.
So this is New Jersey and that is New York?
You can't ask Joe that question, bro.
Why?
Joe's happy for everybody who comes into his store. Because that'll start a fucking war.
Gravy or sauce?
Sauce.
Why?
Gravy.
Oh!
Gravy.
He's a Jersey guy.
Wow.
Jersey's like Brooklyn, and Brooklyn says gravy.
I think you're right on that.
Oh, God.
Gravy to me is on Sunday, anything red cooked around a bone, any fats going into a sauce or anything that way.
I get it, but I call it Sunday sauce.
Oh,
I call it Sunday gravy.
So, all right.
But you know what? You could call it whatever you want as long as you buy it at Joe Leone.
Yeah. And as long as you're spending time with your family and you're having
a good meal. You could call it whatever you want.
What about a hot sub or a cold sub?
I go cold. What do you mean?
I go cold,
too. Hot, too? The one you brought me is hot?
Sandwich?
It's a cold
sub.
Yeah,
we're going to go with
cold sub.
I don't eat subs.
No.
And I don't eat hoagies.
No.
I eat sandwiches.
Hold on. So a hot sub is a hoagie.
I don't know.
No, he has sandwiches, hot or cold sandwich. He doesn't call it a...
I like cold.
I'm a cold sub guy.
Yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
All right, now here's one. Olive oil or balsamic?
Olive oil, 100%.
I do
olive oil.
Yeah, I'll go
olive oil.
Yeah.
All right, guys, listen, on that note, we're having a great time. We have to take a break, and we'll be right back with more of The Bro Show. Eat Clean Bro. They deliver fresh, healthy, chef-prepared meals right to your door. So whether you're into bodybuilding or weight loss or just trying to eat better without the hassle of cooking, Eat Clean Bro has got a ton of options for you. Gluten-free options, high-protein options, chicken parm with sweet potato mash, buffalo chicken, mac and cheese, turkey meatballs and pasta, teriyaki salmon with jasmine rice, and Eat Clean Bro delivers within 24 hours in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania area. So if you're looking to try it out or you want help picking some meals that match your goals, head over to eatcleanbro.com right now. Eat Clean Bro. That's where to go.
Where to go.
All right, so, James, I think we do agree that you had a great show here. You had a great episode.
Yeah.
Right? But there's one thing we still have to do is Jamie's Bro Show key takeaway, and that is...
Well, the thing is, obviously, these people are very close to me. These are two people I look up to in business, and I try to emulate my life through the way they are in their business. So just taking what you love and doing it every day. It's like, it's so cliche. It's said over and over again. But when you do what you love doing, you never work a day in your life. And that is truly the bro key takeaway here. You get to wake up and do what you love, even on the bad days. Like, you wouldn't want to do anything else. So
I also think, what about if I said keeping the closest friends that you have very close to you, you know? I think that's what you've done with this episode. We've learned about these close friends of yours that you have stayed very close and have kind of pushed you in that direction.
Oh yeah.
You know, you've surrounded yourself with good people.
100%.
So yeah, it's episode 7. And on that note, I think we end it right there.
I agree.
All right. Bro Show out. We'll see you guys here next week for episode 8.